I have 100 days to survive on a mysterious island where every single day that goes by, the day gets faster and faster.
Oh my god.
The gods of this world said that on day 69, they would come down to Earth and wreak havoc. So let's not waste any time and get to work. I spawned on the beach and watched the parasaur walk by me.
Hello there.
I gathered a bit of resources and crafted myself the basic tools. And I got into an epic fight with a dilo. Yes, sir. Shortly after, I was ambushed by a Pegomastax duo who stole my hatchet and my mejoberry seeds. I asked them nicely to give it back. Yeah, that's what you get. I did a little bit of thinking and remembered the peaceful parasaur that I watched walk by me. I found him and proceeded to give him the beating of a lifetime. He's definitely not gonna recover. I crafted myself a bow and ran inland to see what I could find. I was minding my own business when suddenly I was ambushed by a pack of dodos.
Oh shit!
I quickly defended myself at all costs. I started getting thirsty, so I ran down to the dirty swamp water and took a drink. In the afternoon, I ran back to the beach and placed down a mini workstation where I made narcotics and cooked some meat. A Carno visited my base and started chasing me in the night. Luckily, I'm a beast at doing back shots, so I quickly blew out the Carno's back. Oh, this is not good. Oh, Jesus Christ. For the rest of the night, I cooked and ate what was left of the Carno. On the morning of day 2, I ran up the hill to try and tame a parasaur. Unfortunately, this parasaur was a straight up loser and he died. Dude, I killed it on accident. I really need trank arrows. I later found my first Pteranodon, so I limited his mobility, and I put him to sleep in the hopes that he would wake up and be my friend. 10 minutes later, he woke up and he wanted to be friends, so I gave him a very unique name. Pteranodon. I needed to find metal, so I crafted a raft and loaded up all of my belongings. Eventually, we came across a lot of river rocks, which would give me some metal to get started. I farmed enough to make a refining forge and placed it on my raft. Later that night, I found another parasaur, which I could tame using trank arrows. I gave him an unforgettable name, and I started using parasaur to harvest berries. We farmed into the morning of day 3, and I began mass producing narcotics. Good amount of narcotics. I also used parasaur to farm a bit of wood. I placed a smithy to start storing all of my goodies. I needed a lot of hide, and I spotted a huge brontosaurus roaming nearby. I took Pteranodon and parasaur, and we attempted to take down the beast together.
Finish him!
Oh shit. No! Unfortunately, parasaur didn't make it out alive. Oh yes. I harvested the brontosaurus body and dragged the parasaur's body out of the water before saying my goodbyes. Rest in peace, parasaur. Your life was short. I'll need that saddle though. On day 4, I returned to the river axis and noticed the water was too shallow for my raft to get over the rocks. I was forced to make a new raft and transfer all of my resources so that I could continue traveling inland. As I started sailing, a baryonyx decided it wanted to attack me. Oh shit, I'm stunned. The baryonyx was way too fast for me and it ended up killing me and my Pteranodon. I ran back and grabbed my kit and I tried to get revenge. But instead, a crocodile snagged me and pinned me down for the baryonyx to finish me. I ran back once more to try and get my kit with the transfer tool, and the goddamn crocodile did it again. Oh. Please die. Why is this happening to me? Finally, after getting to my raft, I realized I was not ready for the streets. I went back to the river rocks to farm more metal so that I could make myself some real weapons. On the morning of day 5, I had enough metal and gunpowder to make myself a pistol with some ammo. I of course had to test my gun out on some of the friendly neighborhood Triceratops.
Why you bullying me?
Oh yes, this works perfectly. I started sailing through the swamp and my pistol protected me even from the snakes.
Motherfucker.
I spent most of the day on the raft until I got to the end of the swamp, where I needed to clear out some rocks in order to keep sailing. I made sure to harvest some of the river rocks for more metal as well. As I traveled throughout the night, I shot up the neighborhood and left no survivors at all. On day 6, I killed a Spinosaurus to assert my dominance in the area. Further down, I found a mini monkey and I decided to take it with me on my adventure. Suddenly, a pack of Allosaurus smelled my juicy scent, and they began attacking me. Reload, reload. That was only level 2. Oh shit. I need to put them on this dire bear. There's one left. I only have 26 bullets left. Jesus Christ, I'm broken bones. After that traumatizing assault, I repaired my flak and I decided it was time to look for a strong dino that could protect me. Up the hill, I placed down an Argentavis trap and lured in an unsuspecting bird into my friendship circle. Then we'll call over this one. What level did that say? 27. That's pretty nice. Once he, she, or they was tamed, we parachuted back to my raft where I was once again assaulted by a pack of raptors.
Nani?
I made a saddle for Argentavis and flew up the mountain to tame an Ankylosaurus, which I forgot to record by the way. I did however name the Anky Carcinos.
Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh?
On day 7, we flew back up to the mountain to harvest a large amount of metal. The mountain was bussin', sheesh. And I was able to fill up all of my forges. The rest of the day was mostly waiting for my metal to smelt. Day 8 rolled around and I found myself in the swamp taming a Basilosaurus, which is a frog used to get cementing paste. If I wanted to advance to the industrial stage, I needed a lot of paste. I wanted to take the frog to the swamp cave, but in order to survive, you need to craft yourself a ghillie suit. So I spent the entire day flying over to the northern part of the map, where I could harvest organic polymer by killing baby penguins.
Jeez, Rick, oh my god! What's going on? I mean, don't worry about it. Let's just see where this goes.
Before leaving on the morning of day 9, I made sure to grab a bit of oil as well for gasoline. Upon returning home, I crafted my ghillie suit and made my way over to the swamp cave. Hopefully this works. What I didn't realize was how powerful the bugs were in that cave. Oh god. The frog took an L and he most definitely was not going to bounce back. I salvaged whatever little paste he collected and we flew home crying. I flew back up to the metal mountain and made sure to refill the forges as well as grab some crystal.
I have to use the bathroom.
I knew I wanted to start taming bigger dinos, so I made a few cryopods and a resource drop. In the wee hours of day 10, I found a Megatherium, which would be the perfect dino to take into the swamp cave. If you didn't know, Megatheriums get a buff that increases their damage output whenever they kill a bug. I would also get loads of chitin from killing all the bugs, which I could then turn into paste. Upon his awakening, I used the buggy boy to restock my berries and fiber supply. Before heading back into the cave, I made a few medical brews as I planned to stay an extended time in the toxic gases. My plan worked perfectly as the Megatherium obliterated even the high-level bugs in the cave. When I left, I had an inventory filled with chitin.
Nice.
Upon returning to the raft, I made sure to fill the forges once again. It seems repetitive, but in ARK you always need to be refining resources in order to make progress. On day 11, I found myself back in the snow biome harvesting more polymer and more oil. This time, I decided to use a wooden club to harvest the bodies, as it would give me more polymer than the Argentavis. I also spent some time making a little swimmy swim and grabbing silica pearls, which would be used to craft some electronics. I had enough resources to make a chainsaw, which is extremely overpowered when used in the redwoods. These trees are massive, so they give you an insane amount of wood, more than I could ever carry. That night, I made an extremely important decision in my journey. I decided to make a treehouse as my permanent home. This was a centralized place on the map, so I wouldn't have to fly too far to reach all the places that I wanted to go. Now here's something I didn't tell you about this challenge yet. Every 10 days, the day cycle starts to accelerate. I have a limited time to do things, which means I need to work faster and harder, and I have less room for mistakes if I want to beat the island. I spent the rest of the night crafting all the structures I needed to make a badass treehouse, and on the morning of day 12, it was Bob the Builder time. After admiring my craftsmanship, I made sure to waste no time and I grinded for the rest of the day. I took some time to enjoy the view and think about your mom. Day 13 was much of the same grinding, except I made another upgrade to my weaponry, a pump action shotgun. On day 14, I traveled over to the volcano. Here I would find two rare resources, obsidian and crystal. I needed these resources to make a net gun and more cryopods. And yet again, we were back in the snow. Except this time I brought scuba gear so that I could farm more silica pearls that were deeper in the ocean. Boys, if you haven't already, make sure to join my Discord server for updates when I'm live and come chat. I got back home and started making more electronics as well as getting organized in the base. On day 15, I started thinking about making a Megatherium army to defeat the Broodmother boss. I saw what they were capable of in the swamp cave and I knew an army of them would easily work. Gray hair. Okay. A fitting name. I ended up finding a decent female and male. And I took them back to base. I then forced them to have some sex. On the morning of day 16, a baby was born. Yo, we got two. I gathered some berries to raise the babies and then headed down to the river where I'd place a cooking pot. I planned on unethically breeding about 16 Megatheriums, so I placed a second platform for my Megatheriums to grow comfortably. At this point, I wanted to build a truly epic treehouse. I carefully took apart everything on the platform and started building up a permanent structure. That's a lot of wood. It took me a while, but on day 19 I had finally finished this project. Complete with lights, a rope ladder to the second platform, and a landing area for my RG, I was satisfied with how it turned out. Of course my broke ass had to start farming again, because I did in fact use a lot of resources on that build. In order to summon the Broodmother, I needed 3 artifacts which can be found in caves. After fighting through this dungeon, I had finally reached the artifact, and I Indiana Jones'd the shit out of that cave.
motherfucker right in the pussy.
Back at home, I placed a vault to start storing the valuable items I would soon be collecting. The next dungeon I fought through was much of the same in order to obtain the artifact of the hunter. To prepare for the third and final dungeon to summon the Broodmother, I made a ghillie suit and 2 canteens. This next cave was extremely hot and I needed to keep my character cool if I wanted to survive. Holy crap. Can I do this with only 10 grapples? Just gonna dodge everybody here. Ooh. It is now day 21 and the Megatheriums have been having so much sexy time. Remember that the days are speeding up again and it feels like I'm behind schedule. I crafted up fur armor and prepared for another adventure to the snow where I would need to find a Yutyrannus to tame. The morning of day 23 gave me an extraordinary sunrise. I came across the pig from the Marvel movie Hakuna Matata's and I gave him a good name, no capping. Day. Dayode. Yo, chill, I know you're hungry, but... After quite a bit of searching, I finally found a Yutyrannus on day 24. These dinos are important for boss fights because they give you all of your dinos a buff that increases their strength. I gathered around the campfire to sing a campfire song, and it goes like this. CAMPFIRE song. We tamed the Yuty and came home, and yes, I needed to farm again. On day 26, I began building a farm. It's actually not to grow weed, I wanted to grow some corn.
It's cold!
I also made sure to install sap taps into the trees that I was living on. On the morning of day 27, I built myself a table and a chair so that I could overlook the mountains and the river. This would be my thinking spot. Thinking about your mom. I was checking out the neighborhood and a Megatherium was looking at me funny, so I shot him. Yeah, that's right, bitch. I spent part of the day harvesting some wood, and later I found a Yutyrannus that I knew would be useful for stone. Yutyrannus. On day 28, I was being chillin' by my base when I saw a level 104 Argentavis.
Hello there.
I knew it would make for a perfect mate to my Argy. Look, he's shocked. He's like, oh my god, you got me. She produced me an egg and I tossed it down next to some air conditioners to incubate it. Ironically, this happened this same night.
Help me!
No way!
Help me! Bruh.
Are you kidding me? I was heartbroken, so I took a seat at my table and I thought. I know what you're thinking, and yes, I was thinking about your mom. I hatched another egg and the baby was absolute trash, so I sent it right back to its creator. And it has no HP at all. Day 30 is when I took my Yutyrannus to farm some of the rocks that were below my base. Day 31 and 32 were mostly breeding days and I was constantly raising Megatheriums. I think we know exactly what's going on here. On day 34, a drop spawned near my base, so I grabbed all the resources I needed to make some cryopods. These would be necessary to transport my Megatherium army to an obelisk. On day 35, I began saddling and leveling all of my Megatheriums as I had finally raised enough. After that, I made sure to use my Dayode to heal everyone up. I grabbed some med brews out of the cooking pot before I left, and I was off to the green obelisk. After throwing out my Megatheriums, I waited patiently for them to wake up from their slumber. On day 37, we were finally ready to start the boss fight. Boys, are you subscribed right now? You better be subscribed. Go down there and hit that damn subscribe button. The giant spider was easily overwhelmed by my furry army, and she was easily conquered. Before leaving the green obelisk, I spotted 2 Therizinosaurs, which sparked an idea for my next boss fight, the Megapithecus. I returned home to let my Megatheriums rest, and I hatched another egg that finally produced offspring that were fit enough for my journey. I think they're decent. We'll keep them. Just need to make sure I feed them some meat. Day 38 was spent harvesting crop seeds and filling up my greenhouse with vegetables. I spent some of the night researching my war map, and I noticed a mysterious island on the bottom right of the map. Day 39 was more penguin genocide, and on day 40 it was time to start a Therizino army. Therizinos have an advantage over Megatheriums because they can make use of vegetable cakes, which give them HP every time they eat one. After just a bit of searching, I found myself a level 72 female and a level 80 female. Now I understand that lesbians cannot reproduce, so of course I did have to find myself a male.
Gotcha, bitch!
Day 43 was here, and I was truly feeling the effects of the increased daytime. I had to secure an artifact from a cave that was deep in the ocean, so I filled up the trough before I left, and I headed to the nearest shore. My goal was to find a Basilosaurus, which I knew would be strong enough to fight through the cave. I came across a smaller cavern that had a bit of silica pearls, which I made sure to take home with me. It took me a lot of Michael Phelpsing, but I finally found a Basilosaur on day 45. Unfortunately, the manta rays didn't really seem to like that. I came home to repair my scuba gear and check on my raising Therizinos, and then it was back to the ocean. See what we got here. Holy shit. A 291 pump BP. Okay. The Bazzy had so much HP that it easily fought off the megalodons and jellyfish in the cave. One shotgun. I then went over to the pack cave, where I grappled through a secret entrance to the artifact room. The last artifact for the Megapithecus was guarded by hundreds of bats, but I was able to pick them off with my new and improved shotgun. There's so many. I returned home and continued breeding Theries, and oh by the way, I tamed a dire bear. I used this dire bear to harvest some of the beehives near my base. With the honey I gathered from the bear, I crafted 2 domesticated beehives that would produce honey next to my greenhouse. To save you the boredom, I'll skip past some of the caves that I had to fight through. I decided that while my Therizino army was raising, I would go ahead and collect all of the artifacts I needed for the dragon. On day 59, I began cooking all of the cakes I needed for the boss fight.
No.
I once again used Deo to heal my army, and I made sure to level and saddle all of them. The Megapithecus portal was located at the blue obelisk. I brought my team into the arena, and for some goddamn reason, my piggy felt like it had nothing left to live for. There's no way that just happened. Rest in peace, Hakuna Matata's. But we went ahead and destroyed the monkey man. Boys! The days have begun to move way too fast. I needed to find a dino team to take on the dragon, and that is when I remembered looking at the mysterious island on my war map. I traveled to this island, and I found something epic. Something so powerful, so massive. I had found Godzilla. It's Godzilla. His presence was amazing, and I knew I needed to have him on my team. Holy shit, he's so huge. I quickly rushed home and tested how many tranquilizer darts it would take to knock him out, which resulted in 350. My plan was simple. I would fly above Godzilla, grapple to my RG, and shoot trank arrows down at him until he was knocked out. I am very scared. Holy crap. Oh, he's gonna shoot me, isn't he? It took an entire 3 days, and I had finally knocked him out. In order to tame Godzilla, I needed something extremely rare, atomic fish meat, which could be only made by fusing all of the element I had with a piece of fish meat. I searched far and wide for a fish that was worthy of being fed to Godzilla. In the end, I settled on a random river fish I found next to my base. I'll just feed this tiny ass piece of fish to Godzilla. Atomic fish meat. It spoils in 20 minutes, so we better head over there now. With the atomic fish ready, I headed back to the island, and I'm literally the worst person at recording all the important things I do. But anyways, Godzilla was tamed, and he was mine. No way, this thing swims like in the movies. We quickly headed back to my treehouse to get the artifacts for the dragon boss. Alright guys, I'm home. It's time to fight the dragon, I guess. It was day 69, boys. Yes sir, the absolute best day out of the series is here, and I celebrated.
Your mom gay!
We headed to the red obelisk, teleported to the arena, and yeah, Godzilla actually might have a neck problem. For some reason, I thought defeating the dragon would be the end of my world, but I forgot an old saying that I once heard from someone somewhere. There must always be balance in this world. When Godzilla rose from the depths of the ocean, Ghidorah was there to balance his power. It was a long battle, and Godzilla was strong, but unfortunately, Ghidorah was too much to handle. I spawned back at my base and looked over this world, realizing what was left. I had made a huge mistake by bringing Godzilla, and now it was only a matter of time before Ghidorah would make me pay. Ghidorah destroyed my base. He broke down everything I had worked so hard for. So I did what anyone else would do. I started over. I picked a few bushes to get a starter kit going. And fuck that! I called in reinforcements from Pacific Rim, baby. I launched an attack with a Jaeger. Cherno Alpha did so much more damage, and he was no doubt extremely powerful. But Ghidorah had nearly killed Cherno Alpha, and I was forced to back off. That is when Godzilla came out of nowhere.
Hello, your computer has virus.
And he decided to help me. After obliterating Ghidorah, even though he has a wife and kids, we did a victory dance over his dead body. So this was it. This is the end of this mysterious island. I know the story kind of goes off the rails at the end, but I really wanted to have fun with that mod and see how it works out. The ending originally was going to be really boring. I actually ended up beating the dragon with the same Theri army. And I don't know, I feel like you can only make that so interesting. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you later, boys. Hey, why are you still here? The screen is black.